Hi, everyone. Welcome to the holiday edition of the Open Pitch Day by Powertrain Ventures. We're very happy to be here, gathering startup founders from some of the top pre-seed and seed ventures out there. Also, some of the top investors from some of the VCs that are making some of the most interesting portfolios out there. We're very happy to have other entrepreneurs in this call who are interested in launching and growing their own startups and general audience. So Powertrain Ventures is a startup studio and acceleration program. We are, working with founders that have an impact entrepreneurship vision and who are making great strides out there to grow their businesses and have an amazing impact in their communities and globally. Today, we are happy to have around 14 startups pitching their ventures in the pre-seed and seed stages. And we will also be having some great panelists from VCs who will be asking some of the most interesting questions to these founders to understand their business model, their traction, and their vision. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the panelists first and just remind everyone about some of the logistics that will be taking place. Each of the founders will pitch for 4 minutes. After that, we will have up to 3 questions from the investor panel. And I would like to ask these panelists to please raise their hand if they have a question for these founders. We will hear out all of the questions first, and then founders will have 3 minutes to respond. We will give founders a 1-minute warning before the time is up, both for the pitch and for the Q&A, okay? So I'd like to introduce the founders and ask them to say a few words about themselves and the investment thesis from their VC. So first up, Charlie Travers. Welcome, Charlie.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me today. So I'm principal and head of investments for Angel Ventures. We're a leading VC fund in Mexico and in Spanish-speaking Latam, mostly. We have 2 funds today, one of 20 and one $72 million, and we're actually completing our round for $100 million for third fund. Sorry, cleaning lady passing behind me. Pleasure to meet. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Charlie. Welcome. Next up, Arturo Quiroga.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm part of the Ignea Partners team. Ignea is a venture capital fund investing in startups all around the world. We currently have around $400 million of assets under management and 2 active funds, one totally invested and a second one in its investment stage. We have currently invested in 14 companies, and we normally invest in Series A and sometimes also on seed stage opportunities.
Thank you, Arturo. Welcome. Next up, we have Paulina Melo. Welcome, Paulina. Okay, I think she might have bumped out of the call for a second. Say, Paulina, can you hear us? We can't hear you. Okay. Okay, so let's skip over to Carlos Rousseau. Carlos.
Okay, thank you, Francisco, for inviting me to this event. I'm a VC analyst for New Mundo Ventures. It's a venture capital fund based in Silicon Valley. We invest in PropTech, FinTech, and supply chain. And I was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and I was just graduated college studying innovation and development engineering. And yeah, happy to hear all you guys' pitch, and congratulations for what you're building.
Thanks, Carlos. Great. I think we have Paulina back on the call again. We can hear you, Paulina. I can see that you are speaking. No, we can't hear you. Not yet. That's fine. You're welcome to introduce yourself later on after you sort out the audio issue. Okay, no worries. Paulina is joining us from Carabela VC, and we're very happy to have her on the call. Okay, so I think we're ready to start. Great. So first up is Alejandro Gonzalez. Alejandro is CEO for PayLife, pre-seed startup in the buy now, pay later space for health tech. So we're very happy to have you, Alejandro. And let me count you in. 3, 2, 1, go.
Can I share my screen or it's open?
No, you can share your screen, and you should have no trouble for that.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Okay, well, I'm Alejandro Gonzalez, founder of PayLife. The problem with healthcare in Mexico is that 38% of the total healthcare expenditure in Mexico
We still, sorry, Alejandro, we still can't see your slides. Can you try again?
Sure. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, this is PayLife. I'm Alejandro Gonzalez, the founder of PayLife. The problem with healthcare in Mexico is that 38% of the total healthcare expenditure in Mexico is out of pocket. The average annual interest rate of credit cards is around 50 and 80%. The average interest rate of health loans is around 35 and 67%. Many medical treatments and procedures are not covered by insurance plans, making them inaccessible. Buy now, pay later has been successful in the healthcare sector within the United States, but this opportunity has not yet been tackled in Mexico. Medical providers spend as much as 10% of their income in promotion. The preferred payment method of patients we are targeting is credit cards. Our product is better suited for patients with a low credit line on their credit cards. In PayLife, we partner with medical providers to help them serve more patients with flexible and accessible payment plans starting at 0% interest rate. We connect patients with top doctors. We provide easy quoting and payment links. Our credit is approved within minutes. Eugenia, as a patient, book a doctor through PayLife and select the best payment plan of her preference. We run a credit analysis based on historical behavior, digital footprint, open finance, and we're exploring open banking. She gets approved and she gets access to healthcare. The market of out-of-pocket health expenditure is 67 billion. The market of cosmetic procedures will grow from 9.4 billion in 2020 to 16 billion in 2025. We will invite each doctor to join our network so they can direct their patients to us. We will create commercial and financial partnerships. We will have social media presence, and we will focus on specialties not covered by insurance plans, such as dental, vision, beauty, dermatology, hair transplant, bariatric, plastic, and fertility. Our revenue model is based on our payment plans, which is for 3 and 4 months payment plans, will be interest-free, and we will have a take rate of 15%. We will require the patient to do a down payment between 25 and 35%. Our 6 and 12 months payment plans require a higher down payment between 35 and 50% with a take rate of 15%, and we will charge an interest rate around 33%. We will also aiming to charge a commission from financial partners so they can provide credit directly with our technology. And we are looking forward to charge also subscriptions from medical providers when we add more services to the platform. In 2023, we signed an agreement with a strategic technology partner, and we were accepted into Fair FinTech Lab for 2024. We will launch next year.
You have 1 minute.
And we will add more features for the next years, like an advanced quoting system, insurance, and medical tourism. I'm currently a manager of a real estate company with professional experience in financial planning and financial markets. And Mario has an extensive experience working in international companies as a software developer. We're raising 100K for validation, product, team, legal, and marketing. Thanks.
Thank you, Alejandro. Okay. So questions from the panelists?
Sure, I can start. I don't know how
Go
to
ahead,
raise
Charlie.
my hand.
Okay,
Thank you for the
no worries.
Thank you for the presentation. My first question is, we know that the go-to-market here is quite difficult, and especially for the sector in which you are. So I'd like to know exactly how you're going to reach out to doctors for them to offer that solution, and maybe what types of procedures, what type of doctors are we talking about, and how you're gonna be able to reach them first to reach scale rapidly and traction.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, wait, Alejandro, please, let's listen to all of the questions. Additional questions from the panelists?
I can have another question. Can you talk to us briefly about the credit analysis? How are you going to do this fast and also cost effectively?
Thank you, Arturo. Paulina, do you have a question? You can write it down as well. Let's see. Carlos also. Paulina is asking, how are you currently financing those tickets? All right. Great. So we'll do up to 3 questions for 3 minutes of Q&A. Alejandro, please go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Yes, thank you. Well, we will approach clinics. I already had conversations with surgeons, and for example, a group of hair transplant clinics, and they have a high volume. I will be onboarding healthcare providers depending on the financing budget that I have. I also had conversation with dentists and with ambulatory procedures clinics, and then we will create more commercial partnerships with large clinics to scale that service. Related to the credit analysis, that will be done with our tech partner. They use their software, leverage AI and machine learning. They also have other providers that investigate the footprint of the patient, and we will open finance with credit scoring, you can have access to the income of the patients. And remember me the question of Paulina, please, Francisco.
Sure. Paulina's question is about how are you currently financing those tickets?
Yeah, we will launch on the first quarter of 2024. And the ticket that I'm asking for is to validate my product. So I haven't provided a loan yet, but our software providers validate the product and they have a 1% default rate.
Thank you, Alejandro.
Next up, pitching will be Eugenio Villarreal with Bitacora, pre-seed company.
Awesome. Let me know if you can see there my slides.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so we are Bitacora.io. We help traditional companies go digital. So construction companies or companies in maintenance or agriculture can say goodbye to paper and WhatsApp. So maybe this is something that is fairly known all throughout Latin America. The main tool to use is WhatsApp. So we help companies through their workforce capture all their information on site. So companies can have this information in real time, and we manage the information and provide services so companies can manage and visualize this information in real time. Okay, so I don't know who of you here are aware of the distribution of digitalization throughout different industries, but if you take a closer look at construction or other traditional companies, for example, hospitality, agriculture, security, there's a huge lack of digitalization, specifically in the labor tools. And this in turn makes it the companies cannot digitalize because most of their workforce is on site. If we look at the broader scope, 80% of the global workforce, that means of everybody who works in the planet, 80% works away from a desk. They don't work in the office, they work in the field, they work in the construction. And as long as we don't digitalize those users, the companies cannot use all of that information that gets generated day to day. Oops, okay, I'm not done. Okay, I'm having And so one of the main problems that we can foresee is that there's a huge friction between the people on field and the people who are working in the office, separated by location and the tools that they use. By then, the businesses suffer from overwhelmed teams, stalled workflows, waste of time, lost data, and a lack of operational visibility to make better decisions and grow faster. I have experience with this. I'm an architect and I've worked in the construction industry, and it took too much time to receive, access, and generate documents and information for essential operations, billing, or payroll workflows. You can imagine we would do the work on site, then we would have to capture this information on a notepad, then go back to the office, capture this information into an Excel, download all of the images, then create a presentation, and finally send it through email. So what we've done with Bitacora, we manage all this information in real time. We generate automated work reports and workflows with which the teams in different areas, such as human resources, accounting, sales, and operations, can access this information and get vital information. Additionally, with this information, we can connect with AI to generate additional queries and workflows.
1 minute.
Thanks. Today, we have a mobile app and a web dashboard to be able to do this. And today we have more than 2.7 thousand active users per month with 400 paid customers. They're spread throughout B2C and B2B through constructions and maintenance teams mostly, and are capturing information in, such as inventory, worked hours, and overall work information. We offer this through a monthly subscription that is paid by monthly, and we have additional modules to be able to charge more to our customers. We foresee a growth in different sectors and additional services that we can provide on this information. And we can see how in different areas of the world already, Tesla's solutions are working. Thank you very much, and we'd love to meet and grow together. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugenio. So questions from the investors? Carlos, please go ahead.
Yeah, could you please expand a little bit more into your go-to-market strategy and also really to see how scalable your business model is, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Carlos. Okay, next question from the investor panelists. Okay, so Paulina, go ahead.
Hi, sorry for the technical issues. I would like to know about your vision of the company within the next 2 years, next 2 to 5 years.
Thank you, Paulina. Third question from the panelists.
I have a question. I don't know how to raise my hand.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Sorry about that. No, I'm just curious. You did put Factorial, and there are a lot of solutions out there that are already existent. What do you feel is in how will you onboard new clients, and why will you able to get those clients? And if those clients are clients that have never had any of those digital solutions before, or are they going to leave that previous digital solution and go to yours?
Okay, awesome. Can I go?
Sure, go ahead, Eugenio.
Okay, so I'll try to start with the first question in terms of our go-to-market. We address it in different areas. So from the start, our growth has been 98% organic at the moment, and that is due to the name of our application, which is Bitácora.io. We focus primarily in Latin America, which means one of the main tools used today is WhatsApp. So people are actively looking for tools to be able to capture information and generate reports. So we have already this organic acquisition of users. And what we want to further pursue is an implemented B2B strategy where we are aiming with clusters to be able to grow faster in this adoption. Also, in terms of the scaling, as I was showing you a little bit here, organically we already have users who are using it for maintenance, security, and agriculture. And this is all done, all this information I'm showing is already organic users, which means people already in these industries are looking for ways to communicate past pen and paper and WhatsApp. Regarding the vision for where we're trying to aim is, well, first, I think it's very common right now that we're all in this AI frenzy, but we have to remember also that for AI to work, we need to have the data that we have and on which this AI works is crucial. So our first step for us has been being able to digitize this workforce. For then we can have this information so companies can work faster, but beyond that, so we can also work with the data and provide not only workflow optimizations, but also add additional services such as loans and HR services, which build upon the data that's being collected in real time for the companies. So in terms also for the last question that we were referencing, for example, Factorial, I think one of the main differences that we see all throughout, one of the constants that we see throughout different companies around the world is that they're offering solutions that are primarily focused for the teams in the office, okay? So from today in Bitácora, from this one source of information, which is from the field, we already have information on not only what the people are doing, so we could talk about safety culture and generating field reports, but we also know how much time the people in the field are working, when they started, when they ended. So this also connects in terms of providing HR and payroll information. And also with Connect Team, which is a company which primarily focus on communication. Our tool also with this one same point of information, we provide companies with real-time communication. So we see a great opportunity when we see these companies having success around the globe. I think one thing that has been lacking is that specifically in Latin America, that the conditions of work and how work is done is very different. from, say, people who work
Okay.
in that
Time
space.
is over.
Yes.
Thank you, Eugenio, for your presentation. Next
you.
up, we have Ramiro Andino with the pre-seed stage to Ruta.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. 360,000 minutes is what an average person in Latin America wastes and is being exposed to insecurity while waiting for their boss for 20 years. That's why we developed Tu Ruta, safety transportation making every trip count. We identified that the main cause of this problem was the lack of control that companies that give transportation to their employees, but as well from schools that give transportation to their students. This inefficiency in routes creates an increment in expenses to the company itself, but as well lack of security for the users. Why? Because of the long waiting times at the bus stops. Our users have to say that 37% of them has been exposed to an assault, and the average time waiting for their bus is 23 minutes. As well, we already have more than 5 letters of interest signed from 9 different schools interviewed. How does Tu Ruta solve this problem? We give more security to 3 key players: user, parents, and organizations. To the organizations, we give real-time route optimizations, control who accesses the bus, speed controls, and vehicle fleet tracking. This live location is going to be shared to users and to parents so they can have a continuous monitoring of the buses, and as well more features such as gas consumption analysis, arrival and departure notifications, and geo barriers. How does Tu Ruta works? First, the users are able to see where their bus is coming from. Then the driver is able to validate the QR code of each user. And in parallel, this information is going to be sent to the admin panel dashboard, where the administration of the school or organization is going to have full control of their bus fleet and as well their users. Our market size is huge, which means we have a sum of $168 million that translates to more than 150K schools and more than 80K medium and big enterprises. Our end user is infinite. Why? Because employees and students are always going to exist. Our business model is B2B2C and as well B2B, with a monthly subscription to every organization and every student using Tu Ruta. The approximate cost per user is about $2, and we have a projected revenue or about $2.9 billion for 2028. Although we have competitions, they are focused more on B2B or on the final user without solving the two problems at the same time. As well, they are focused more on building hardware than building technology such as Tu Ruta. Our go-to-market for 2024 is that on January, we will have our MVP developed and integrated on the schools that signed our LOIs. And by December, we're going to have more than 200 organizations using Tu Ruta, and we're going to initiate talks to conduct pilot tests on public transportations. The team is conformed by Ramiro Andino, the CEO and the founder, and as well Arturo Solano, our CTO, with more than 10 years in experience in software development. If you got any organizations in mind where Tu Ruta should be implemented, please contact us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramiro. So investors, I would like to remind you that if you raise your hand, the Zoom call should be able to pick up the gesture, and that would lead us to know that you have a question. All right. Great. Paulina, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ramiro, for the presentation. In the case of many schools, they outsource transportation. How do you manage this process? Do you approach the school and then they make the connection to the transportation company, or how do you manage that?
Thank you, Paulina. Okay. Next question from the investors is coming from Arturo Quiroga.
Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to ask you, are you planning to leverage on existing technology, or are you going to fully develop your platform?
Thank you, Arturo. Last question for you, Ramiro, is from Carlos Rousseau.
If you haven't already reached it, what is your plan for achieving cash flow positive in the near to midterm?
Thank you, panelists. Ramiro, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Right. So for the first question that Paulina said, we are right now talking with schools, and it doesn't matter if the schools have or rent this transportation from another service, because we're going to build technology and not hardware. Sometimes in the contract clauses from schools and transportations, they say that the hardware is not available to be installed on the transportation. So Turuta will function just such as well as Uber. As you can see, Uber does not install something in the bus, but it's going to be just in the phone. For the next question, I don't remember the next question from Arturo.
Just wanted to understand a little bit the technology you are planning on using. Are you going to go through some strategic partnerships, a specific vendor, or are you going to be developing it?
Although from right now, we're developing our own code, and we are just leveraging on APIs such as Mapbox and Google Maps, with Google Maps API, which is the only thing we are needing. And for the cash flow positive, what we plan right now is going to have a model B2B and B2C, meaning that the school or the students are not obligated for all of students to have this. So it's not obligatory. It's just a add-on on their service they already paid. The students already paid $50 monthly. So it's going to be an add-on of $2. They are going to pay $52 for the service. And as well, we are going to charge the school administration $20 to $25 based on the functions we deployed. So from right now, we already have more than 5 letters of interest signed and more than 2 contracts to start a pilot test in January when our MVP is developed.
Thank you, Ramiro.
Thank you, Ramiro, for your presentation. Next up, we have Fernando Carrillo, pre-seed stage from Vertebra.
We can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Can I start?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, now I see that 4 minutes. So thank you for the time. My name is Fernando. I'm co-founder and CFO at Vertebra. We are building the admin SaaS for industrial and commercial real estate in LATAM. We're a team of 3 co-founders, Jose Pablo, Laila, and myself. The 3 of us have over 20 years of experience in fintech, tech, finance, and real estate. And Jose Pablo is the CEO, myself, I'm the CFO, and Laila is the CTO. We started as a CRE fund, a commercial real estate fund. We raised money from friends and family and built the building you see in the picture. We had it fully rented to AAA tenants. We did this part-time, and we thought that by having it rented to AAA tenants, it was going to be an easy administration, but we overestimated that, and documentation, contracts, payments, maintenance of the strip mall was very painful. So we decided and we started researching for tools that could help us with these administration problems, and we couldn't find anything that we liked. So we decided to create our own tool. We started making discovery interviews with our tenants, which are large companies that have many points of sale. Like Benavides has over 1,000 branches, and they do all very manual and inefficient processes. So that's why we saw a big opportunity for Vertebra. We're solving for those admin inefficiencies. We work with both landlords and tenants, and also in institutional cases with the property management teams. We want to focus on solving for human errors, physical documentation inefficiency in multiple payments, and all of these inefficiencies translate in over 20% of overhead costs. 1 out of every 3 hours of these administration teams are wasted in manual processes, and our assets are lose up to 10% of profitability
due to poor maintenance processes. We're working to digitize and automate all those pains I just listed. Currently, we have 7 working features: our contracts and documents features, a QR-enabled asset management feature, data reports and property management features or property data, maintenance tracking for internal use, and also that connects landlords with their tenants, payment automation, and omni-channel chat in all of the features listed above. Our current revenue stream is a subscription model. We charge around $30 per property. We're planning on bringing in the near future financial services. The first one is the payment automation, which will be launching in January for you to be able to pay
Have 1 minute.
Your utilities using Vertebra, and afterwards brokerage services. We identified over 2 million formal real estate, industrial, and commercial properties in Mexico, therefore presenting a large opportunity for our 3 revenue streams. We launched our MVP on March of this year. We started targeting e-commerce companies. We pivoted a little bit our product strategy to launch or to focus with large warehouse development companies. And we launched that in July, and that's how we started generating revenue. We're currently working with large companies like JLL, Bimsa, and Areya, which is owned by Grupo Proesa. This is our roadmap. We're planning on introducing OCR and AI for all our contract and documentation features, among other technology we want to bring on board. Thank you very much, and open mic for questions.
Thank you, Fernando. Panelists.
You spoke about a pivot and seeing that a lot of your clients are from logistics. Is that the logistics and startup sector? Is that your initial go-to-market, and how will you grow from there in terms of the profiles of your clients?
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, next question. Okay, I think that's it. Fernando, please go ahead.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Charlie. So the pivot was, we started focusing on e-commerce company with small warehouses like dark stores and dark kitchens. We started working with Rappi, Foodology, and Envía Flores, among other notable e-commerce companies in Mexico. But we identified that there was a larger and more urgent need with larger warehouses. So we pivoted our product to focus on a large industrial warehouse developers, which are the companies that are listed below. And there we found that the need was more urgent, the willingness to pay was bigger. So that's why we decided to target not only dark stores and dark kitchens, but also large warehouses and also large commercial strip malls and commercial properties in general. I don't know if I answered the question.
I think so. Thank you so much, Fernando. Great. Up next, we have Juan Pablo Estrada from Radi. This is a pre-seed Manutech startup. Welcome, Juan Pablo.
Thank you, Francisco. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm going to count you in. 3, 2, 1. Please go ahead.
In 2022, as the director of family-owned manufacturing company, we host a visit from an Asian company we were eager to do business with. Despite our investments in certification and machinery with over $500,000 that year, we couldn't meet their demands. This wasn't one-off. It happened with over 5 companies that year. Our main obstacle was the production capacity. Despite being a leading company in our city and state, serving to automotive industry and aerospace sectors, we couldn't match their demand of 300,000 pieces per month of various products. This was crazy for us. This experience was a wake-up call, especially with the rise of nearshoring companies shifting their supply chain from Asia to Mexico. and Latin America. These companies are facing challenges in finding efficient manufacturing suppliers and managing supply chains. This is where Radi comes in, a B2B e-commerce platform that digitizes decentralized manufacturing. We're offering a vast network of qualified suppliers across Mexico, posting thousands of machines and countless work hours. Our technology enables project analysis, instant quotes, and efficient order management. We can handle hundreds of orders simultaneously, and our software will choose the best supplier for each job. Radi can slash operational costs by 25% and turn weeks of response time into minutes. Well, why does the industry that is already established in Mexico also need us? Because the manufacturing supply chain is stuck in outdated processes, leading to high administrative costs, poor transparency, and over-reliance in a few suppliers. Clients using Radi will experience an e-commerce ordering process with real-time tracking, ensuring quality, price, and time delivery, from a prototype to the mass production of the products. We are also empowering our manufacturing partners, many of whom are overlooked by larger corporations and face challenges like institutionalization, certifications, and quality management. In Mexico, there are than 600,000 manufacturing companies, 90% of which are small or micro businesses. We will their development, classify them, and show them the steps to level up and expand their business. They will have their version of our platform, where they can have projects just a click away. At Radi, we're not just meeting a market need, we are leading manufacturing revolution. We're creating a more efficient and profitable ecosystem for both large and small manufacturing companies. Our edge is our team. Our CTO, Cesar, has extensive experience in developing technological solutions for business of all sizes. He has developed for Deloitte and Hyundai. CMO Jimena, my sister, is a product design expert with international recognition, and me, the CEO, with first-hand experience.
You have 1 minute.
Thank you. I was leading the family company, and the last 3 years, we grew like 40% sales the last 3 years. We generate revenue by taking 50 to 30% commission per transaction, targeting a market of $308 billion in Mexico and $700 billion in Latam. We already have a waiting list of 80 users from 37 different companies, spanning sectors from aerospace to food, and 100% of this was unique. Now we are about to launch the third MVP with 10 clients, and we will be validating and improving the platform. Besides, we're going to create a supplier-side platform, implementing an automatic assignation system, and we want to launch with all the 80 users on the waitlist on March.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. Your time is up. And I'd like to hand it over to the investors. I'm happy to say we have Rogelio Marin, who joined the call also from the investor panel. So I remind you that if you want to ask a question, you can raise your hand. And we have one from Charlie. Please go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I do feel that I'm asking always the same question, but I do think it's very relevant for companies that are just starting. And it seems like you're developing a marketplace on one side and a CRM on the other. On the marketplace side, I'm curious of how you're gonna, reach out to all those suppliers, understand and keep quality of suppliers. I also understand you should focus on a specific industry. Manufacturing companies in general seems very, very large and broad. So then my question is just on this side of the equation.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Next question. Paulina, please go ahead.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. Once the customer and the manufacturer partner are in contact, how are you going to avoid that they skip Radi and manage the relationship directly?
Thank you, Paulina. Okay, we have room for one more question. Any other doubts from the investors? Okay. Juan Pablo, you have 3 minutes to answer these 2 questions. Please go ahead.
Perfect. About the quality, we are going to check all the parts in our warehouse. So they manufacture and we check all the parts, and after that we send to the clients. And yes, we are going to focus now in CNC, wire cut, and 3D printing. That is most easy for us to digitalize. So that will be our market now. And for the second question, they never get contact, Paula. They buy at Ready, and after we in the platform was signed to the providers. They have like their own platform. So if I'm provider of CNC, I have all the projects that I can work with us, and you can accept or decline or even do a different offer for us, and we could do like this business talk and assign for the best supplier. And after that, I check all the parts and I send to the final customer. So they never get in contact.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. Next up will be Caio Alexandre with Coopero.
Let me know when you guys see my screen.
There, I can see it.
Yeah. Can I go?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So thank you. So good afternoon, everyone, or good night for some. Coopero came to life when I was struggling to find what I was going to do. So I was looking at my father's company. He has a construction company. And he struggles a lot doing purchases. What is the problem? All the supply chain management from construction companies in Brazil, especially the purchase process, has so much inefficiencies that because of Brazilians study, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce Chamber of Brazil has done some studies, and 10 percentage points of the net profit or net margin is lost because of this. And mostly happens of the low skill labor. So people do struggle a lot because you're going to be hiring not the most talent people, and you not have a lot of money to pay them. So you got to make it efficient. There's a lot of miscommunication between engineering and procurement teams. So there's no standard for ordering supplies for the construction. So one guy's gonna write, he wants 10 tubes, 10 water tubes. One person is gonna understand he's saying 10 tubes. One person is gonna understand he's saying 10 meters. So it happens a lot that people tend to deliver the wrong supplies or the wrong quantity of supplies for every construction. And there's no standard communication between buyers and suppliers. What we want to do is want to help business owners control their purchase process and purchase teams so they can focus on what really matters during their business. So how do we help? We're going to do management and automation. So with our system, business owners will be able to track and manage every step of the purchase process, avoiding mistakes or delay. So how does it work? So every single company owner can build his own fluxogram. So he can decide what happens and when it happens. So if he feels he needs the client to approve first, if he needs someone needs to approve first, or I don't know, whatever, however he wants to do all the purchase process. So I did map it out for the 10-minute pitch because I only have 4 minutes. I have to be quick here. If you're interested, I can show you all the process, how it works. What happens is he can build the fluxogram however he feels like building. He can manage every single step of the process, just like a Trello or a Monday. So he knows what is happening, what is the lane, what is not the lane, and he can also automate. Why I'm talking about automation? A big problem we find is that suppliers tend to take a lot of time to return quotations, and purchase teams do not tend to be so proactive calling suppliers and asking for the quotations. So we can automate this step. It does generate a lot of a great increase. We're doing a proof of concept right now, and it's kind of working really great for our clients. So
You have 1 minute.
okay, so I'm gonna just rush. The client can register supplies and templates and get some automated follow-ups. Then he can just see the quotations and purchase and start building. What we expect is a 2.3 percentage points increase to the net margin. that will be a 32% increase. Talking about a company that revenues 2,000 million reais yearly, that will be a 46,000 yearly increase on their net profit. We have already 11 small and medium companies. Our pricing strategy, we're working with two. We are a SaaS-based subscription, so we're working with $110 subscription and a $500 subscription. Our beachhead or go-to-market will be 720 companies. That will be 4.3 million revenue yearly, or ARR. And our total market is $884 million. This is the team. I just got my CDO. I can talk again. I would be glad to answer more questions. You can reach me freely through WhatsApp or my email.
Thank you, Caio. Questions from the investors? Arturo, please go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation. I wanted to ask you, in the future, do you see the company growing outside Brazil? And if so, what challenges do you think you could expect, and how are you planning to solving them through some strategic partnerships, or how do you view this?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Arturo. Next question. Okay, so there's only one question. Please go ahead, Caio.
What we think is we don't need to work a lot on partnerships with suppliers because we allow the client or the construction company to register their own suppliers and he can just control the process. And we're not thinking about going outside Brazil, at least not in the first 10 years of the company, because we feel we can expand to other sectors. So industry or service industries and repair industries do have interest on what we're building. So we're not thinking about going outside Brazil. That would be the easiest answer and most clear answer.
Thank you so much, Caio, for your presentation. And now we have Marcela Ayala in the pre-seed stage with InPager.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, you can go.
There it is. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so do you know that brands lose more than $1 billion per year by hiring the wrong influencers for their campaigns? Well, I'm Marcia Ayala, and I'm a PR and a specialist on creators. In the industry of the creators economy, there are two main problems. In one side, we have too many influencers that doesn't have the experience needed to actually be out there, working with brands. And on the other hand, we have too many brands out there that are hiring influencers without having the access to the data needed to actually know if the influencer they're hiring is the right one. So I have created InPager, which is a LinkedIn for influencers that provide information about influencers in a very transparent, standardized, in a trustworthy way, and also a very updated information. But how does it work? First, the influencer comes to the platform and they can do two things. Either create a profile or claim a profile, because we already have many influencers in the platform that they can just go and say, hey, this is my profile. Let me just, verify it and connect their social media with the platform. And this will automatically update everything every day. Step two, they will get one link, a unique link that they can send to any brand they want so they can see the information to hire them. And finally, we have brands that have all the information instantly, the exact information they need to know if this influencer they are talking to is the right one for their campaign. We are trying to do this industry something more professional, more efficient, more profitable, because it's not about having or hiring the most popular influencer out there, but having the right one exactly when the brand needs it. About the market, we know that there are more than 11 million influencers in Latam, but we're going on baby steps, and we first want to go for the 400,000 influencers that are in Mexico. But we also know, in the last year, we have learned that more than 80% of influencers in Mexico don't have any experience. They don't have managers. They don't know how to do this part. About the business model, what we want to do is subscriptions. 3 different for influencers. The difference between all of them is how much information they can share. And the brand subscription, it's for the brands having all the information they need, the access they need to actually, see the information. In the past year, we have validated the market in 3 different ways. In one way, we have created a podcast that is now, well, we have more than 30K followers, and they are constantly watching the podcast, which is all about education, all about how to professionalize the industry. Secondly,
you have 1 minute.
We have done conferences and workshops, and also we have alliances with agencies and influencers, which has also tell us that without adding any ads to this, we have gained 376 users in the platform without doing much. Okay, I'm gonna go faster. And what we are trying to achieve right now is to get a pre-seed round of $250,000 for the marketing purposes, administration, legal, and tech. And about me, about my team, I'm a PR and an influencer marketing specialist. I have worked for 7 years in this industry, and I have consulted more than 70 influencers in Mexico, England, and US. And Tania, she's my CTO. She has 6 years on data science and many tech areas. And she has worked also as a CTO into startups in the past. So yeah, this is in Pager. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Marce. Now, hearing questions from the investors. Charlie, please go ahead.
Thanks for the presentation. We know of various influencer marketing marketplaces out there. I understand that the difference here is that you're charging a fee on the influencer to create their own profile. That might create initial friction. So how do you make sure that this marketplace works on the supply and demand side as you're starting to build that up? And how do you make sure that the influencers are the good ones, not just the ones that are willing to pay $15?
Okay.
Thank you, Charlie. Next question. Okay, Marce, please go ahead.
Thanks. Well, I know that part of making the influencers to pay, it's a lot. Actually, we are trying to get inspired by the LinkedIn way, which is you have a free part and then you charge for more. So right now we are not charging anything for any influencer. It's just investment what we're doing. Why? Because we know that first we need to grow our user base. Once we have a bigger user base, then we can actually come up with better ways of, providing our service. So that's one thing. Secondly, how do we know we have good influencers? To be honest, I want to have them all, the good, the bad, everybody. Because what we do is we analyze them. So the good influencers are gonna shine. They're gonna shine in the platform. The ones that are not good, we also are gonna see them. And also the brands, because one of the most specific and the best parts of InPager is that we have a very good filter. So if the brand is looking for a very specific profile, they're gonna find that. They won't find the bad ones because, they're not looking for bad ones. So it's more about that part. And I hope I'm answering the questions. But yeah, basically that's how it works.
Thank you so much, Marce. I would like to remind all of the investors that are in this call that you can reach out to us in the email addresses that we have on our backgrounds from each of the members of the Powertrain team to contact all of the participants today. And next up, Cesar is going to present the next speaker.
Okay, thank you, Marcela. Next up, we have Federico Alatorre in the pre-seed stage for Empowermind.
Perfect. Thank you very much for it. Can I start?
Yes, you can go.
Perfect. So this is not a traditional startup. This is not a purely VC type of company. This is more of a business that can grow really fast. So what we're looking at is the problem of energy. 3 out of 4 Mexicans suffer from fatigue, and this is only in one of the many countries of the world that has this problem. It's a disease, the fatigue stress syndrome, and we think we can tackle it. There are many options for not being fatigued, for being with more energy, but honestly, they are not the best ones. Some companies have tried this approach before, but we are depending on the digestion. When we make something that is sublingual, we have an absorption of 80% instead of 20%. When we digest, even if it's a lot of sugar from the gummies, even if it's a strong energy drink with mysterious ingredients, we don't really know how we're getting all of that energy. But there is a way to make this different. With brand new technology, you can dissolve the ingredients into a natural strip that you put in your tongue. And with nanotechnology, you impregnate these ingredients and they dissolve in your mouth in vitamins and in energy. We are sure that the first hit that we can make into this new technology is with an energy strip that also has vitamins. We can launch our proprietary formula in the next 3 months, and all of these ingredients are FDA approved and also COFEPRIS, which is a little bit tougher than the FDA. Also, the market is really big. We can compete with 5-hour energy. We can compete with Red Bull. We can compete with any other type of way in which we are getting the energy actually. Instead of having a can in your pocket, you have a thin oral strip that is better than other dubious ingredients. So also we have a different strategy. It's not the traditional software as a service type of company, but we can grow really fast since the margins allow us to experience it. The first part that we're going to be looking at is to grow this with a master's distribution network. Merchants is a network of e-commerce experts in Mexico that have profited over $1 million a month in sales. And through this network, we can create data-driven products to see what are the people searching in Google and develop those ingredients in this type of strips. So this strips can be in a pack of 30 or pack of 5 or 3, and you just open the strip and you, oh, I have this little strip. You put it in your tongue and they dissolve into energy. So we want to prove this first in Monterrey and then expand once the thesis is validated in a small scale. Start in Monterrey, then Mexico, then North America and Europe through this master's distribution network. And I didn't know about the spoilers, so I put a Calendly QR code, but of course, all through Powertrain Ventures, so we can keep communicating and talking more about it. Thank you very much, and any doubts that you have, we can take it with more time.
Thank you, Federico. Yeah, of course, you can all reach out directly to the founders, and we are an additional channel through which you can go through. And so first question is from Paulina. Please go ahead, Paulina.
Thank you, Federico, for the presentation. I would like to know if have you identified some side effects?
None. Since they are supplement and not medicines, there are no side effects if the people take the recommended dose. If they have any side effects, then they wouldn't be supplements. They will be medicines. So yeah, it's all the ingredients. Like if you take a strip of caffeine, well, if you take one, nothing, it's caffeine. But if you take 5 or 10, then the side effects, as with any caffeine, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Thank you. Any more questions from the investors? Great. Carlos, please go ahead.
Yeah, how do you see your business in the future, and what are the steps to get there? And also, I saw you had a slide about how you will use your funds, but I wanted to see if you were raising a Series B or a Series C. Like, I just want to get a little bit more sense of the progress that your company would take with more capital.
Sure. There's a company that made this path. They started in India. The first round, they raised 40,000. Their second round, $2 million. And last month, they closed $10 million. So we're looking either expanding globally through more rounds or being bought in the process, since we have developed the distribution network in Mexico and Latin America as a first step. So the things that we will want is keep growing, since it's a very innovative product that we don't have it in Latin America. But if another company wants to buy us early in the process, we are open for it.
Great. Thank you, Federico. Any more questions from the investors? Okay. So this marks the end of the pre-seed round of pitches. I would like to thank Alejandro, Eugenio, Ramiro, Fernando, Juan Pablo, Cayo, Marce, and Federico for all of these great presentations. And now, to start the seed stage pitches, I would like to introduce Guillermo Jackson from Copy.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Let me share my screen and
Sure.
make sure you guys are able to look at it.
Great. We can see your screen now, Guillermo.
Perfect.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So in Copy, we're redefining real estate marketing as it is. I want to give you a little bit of a background. 20 years ago, I founded Jackson Media Group, which is a media production company. 5 years ago, we developed Global, which is a virtual reality technology that's based on 6 main principles. Because the biggest problem that we saw back then was, if you look at websites from 30 years ago, in a website from today, they're essentially the same thing. It's a scroll down, moving through menus and catalogs. And if you look at a cell phone from 30 years ago and a cell phone today, they're completely different technologies. There's a huge advancement in screens and speeds, in processing speeds, and what you can do with them. And what we wanted was to integrate a new sense into what we were doing. So the multimedia platform that we all are used to is using what you see and what you hear, but being able to use your orientation as a sense makes everything way easier. And we wanted 6 main things to be happening around this. So we wanted, first of all, for it to be unlimited. So we wanted this to be able to connect to whatever we wanted. It doesn't matter if it's a 3D render, if it's a picture, if it's a CRM or whatever it needed to be done. We wanted the experience to be completely different. So we wanted everything to be super responsive to work on a Mac, on a PC, on a cheap cell phone, Android cell phone from a supermarket or a high-end iPhone. We wanted it to work on any experience with an amazing quality. We didn't want this to feel lagging or awful. And once we had the technology, built. We went through pandemics. We put it through many different industries. We did over 80 projects over the last 5 years, and we finally ended up building our marketplace, which is what you're looking at right now. I don't want to get much into it, but this is like our Formula One test space where we put in, and we are brokering over 1,000 properties in Bosque Real in Mexico City. And over a month ago, we launched Copy. So what Copy essentially does is all of our technology that we've developed, plus all the tools that we've done for broker, we put it into a software as a service, which is called Copy. And Copy is literally that, is a copy of your project. What we're looking at right now is exactly that. This is a project that does not exist. You can place your towers, understand where they're at, go down and see what the gas stations look like. You can actually go in Google Maps and ask it to get you there. You can understand the streets, where it's placed, how it looks
You have
like.
1 minute.
Go down to each one of the platforms, and you can navigate around all this. So what we're actually doing with this software as a service is giving more than just a view, a vision of everything that's being done, going beyond blueprints, using artificial intelligence to override ChatGPT. So it will give you answers 24/7 to whatever questions you have, to everything that you're doing. It gives you complete control over your what you have available and what you're doing. And the most important things, all the paths leads to one place. So you have an omni-channel, so that all of the marketing that you're doing, doesn't matter if it's ATL marketing on a brochure or on a TV ad, or you're going straight into social media, it will measure everything that's being done, everything that's being asked into one same platform. This costs around from 45,000 to 95,000 pesos, which is what a usual website will run you, and it has a 15,000 pesos to
Thank you, Guillermo. Time is over.
Super.
Thank you, Guillermo. So now I would like to hand it over to the investors. You can raise your hand at any time. You don't need to wait till the last question is over, so that way we know who else has a question. No questions from the panelists? Okay, Paulina, please go ahead.
Hi, Guillermo. I would like to know more about the process. How do you create these showrooms? Do you have to visit the property, or do they send you some pictures and you work with that?
They send us the architectural plans, and we are a one-stop solution. In the setup fee, everything's included, so we do all the picture taking, all of the rendering, and all of the programming for a turnkey solution. And today we are our average time is 4 days from zero to delivery.
Thank you. Any more questions from the panelists?
Thank you. Next up will be Carlos Diaz with Parkio, Seed Stage in Mexico.
Hello, let me share the screen.
Carlos, if you can move the mic a little closer, that'd be great.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Let me, I don't know how to go back. Sorry.
No worries. Tell us when you're...
Let's go back. Okay, that's it. Okay. So, hello.
Hey,
how are you? My name is
Carlos. If you want to go full screen, I think we're just seeing the wrong view.
What are you viewing? Sorry.
Yeah, we're viewing the presenter mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Here?
No. It's still showing kind of not the full pitch deck.
A ver. Será. There you see the presentation mode.
Yes and no, maybe hit full screen.
Maybe it's in reproducir. I'm not so sure.
En ventana.
Yep.
Okay. Do you see here?
No, we can still see the notes, but if that's the way to go, it's okay.
Or here? Let me see. Here. I'm so sorry.
No, do not worry. You can do that. The mode you had, just make it the full screen as best as you can, and we'll move on from there.
That's good.
Okay, so that's good?
Hit that green button, and you should be good. Little green button on the top right there.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'm Carlos Diaz. I'm founder of Parqueo. Parqueo is the Airbnb for platform for parking. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. Can someone continue and then I go? Because all this make me so little nervous.
How about you take a second, Carlos?
Yes.
Take a short breath.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We can see your slides here. We can see the cover. Okay. Can
Okay.
you do the next slide just to check if you have control over the presentation?
Okay.
There you go.
You see
Okay.
it?
We can see your slides fine. And I'm sure you're gonna do a great job. All right?
Okay.
No
I'm so
worries.
sorry.
No problem.
Well, I'm Carlos Diaz. I'm the founder of Parqueo. Parqueo is the parking marketplace for Latin America. What we are doing is a similar model to Airbnb, but for parking spaces. Our mission is to transform the Latin American parking driver experience, making it easy to rent residential properties, well, space in residential properties. So the parking problem of big cities is that the lack of safe and convenient parking space often leads to high parking costs in time, productivity, stress, and environmental concerns. So paradoxically, we believe that there is no parking, but there is a lot of parking. There are more parking spaces than cars. And this is, I believe, an information problem. We have a lot of parking spaces just untapped that could be optimized in a better way. For example, in the Mexico City, there are around 6.5 million parking spots and just 5.5 million cars. So the solution is a digital platform where users can find convenient parking spots and hosts or people that have extra space can make income with their unused space. In this way, drivers save time, money, and stress. Cities reduce the need for new constructions, and hosts make money renting their vacant spaces. So we're optimizing the monthly parking rental market in big cities. The market is huge. We have a TAM of 12.4 billion US dollars. we've calculated there are 74 total parking spaces and 87 million required spots all over Latin America, and we have a deficit of 17%, almost like 12 million spots opportunity. We are focusing first on CDMX, then rest of Mexico, and then LATAM. How the platform works, we connect both sides, demand and offer, and we make it super easy to users to transact. So as a driver, you find a spot in the map, you reserve in advance, and you pay. As a host, you register your space, you approve the customers, and you earn money with your
You have 1 minute.
The market is focused by two types of solutions. One is more tending to hardware integrations, the other more tending to software, and we are focusing on the monthly and daily reservation model. We are not focused as much as of our competitors to just as a payment provider for parking. Our business model is to take a 20% commission on every transaction. In our journey, I started as a solo founder, and until 2021, I found a robust team that could make it in this industry. We've transacted more than 1.47 million US dollars as GMV.
Thank you, Carlos. Time is over.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Carlos. Okay, good thing you were almost through. So
Okay.
questions from the investors, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so no questions at this point? All right.
Thank you, Carlos, for your presentation. Now we have Martin Parra in the seed stage with Tranquila.
Hey guys, that was great. I'm Martin Parra, CEO and founder of Reaquila. I'm here with my partner Maxi Rodriguez. Go ahead, Max, if you want.
Hello, thank you all for your time. I'm my founder of Reaquila, CTO and CMO. I'm in charge of the human behavior in the startup, and we are recovering the packaging in the industry. So go ahead, Martin.
Excellent. I will share the presentation. Let me know if you see the screen.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Welcome to the platform that is disrupting the post-consumer packaging recovery industry. And look at where it ends packaging in Latin America. The problem lies in the disconnection between key players like government, industry, retails, and consumers, generating a linear packaging economy. Also, for nearly 70 years, the post-consumer packaging recovery industry has remained unchanged. As a result, nearly 90% of post-consumer packaging ends up in sanitary landfills, open dumps, and in the oceans. To create a real change, a transformation is necessary. We are bridging the gap between the physical and digital world, fostering conscious consumers and putting an end to the post-consumer packaging informal market. We have taken the challenge to improve this situation, and we have already boosted the recycling rates by 5x. Introducing Reaquila, a digital platform empowering circularity in the post-consumer packaging value chain, we are bringing together key players to create a circular economy. We incentivize conscious consumers through a SaaS solution that rewards them for classifying and sorting packaging at source. The consumers scan a QR code, deposit their packaging, and earn points for recycling. After that, they can swap these points for benefits or discounts on our platform. And through a B2B marketplace, we connect associations and cooperative managing packaging directly with CPGs and recycling industry. In this way, we get two revenue models: the B2B marketplace that we keep a transactional fee, and the second model, the software service that we work with industries and government that want to achieve the sorting at source of their packaging. And now, because of the low recycling rate, Unis Nation target a 100% of recovery rates by 2030. This open a massive market opportunity for post-consumer packaging, especially in LATAM, where the gap between the demand and the supply is nearly $15 billion, and also the TAM is constantly growing, achieving 175 billions. But we are currently focused in Argentina, Mexico, and Chile with a market size of 4.6 billion. We have competition in this market, but we stand out by covering the entire post-consumer value chain, working from the consumer to the CPG, like Coca-Cola, for example. And because we have the right team, we are second-time founders, and our results are proving our capabilities. We have educated and rewarded more than 200,000 people. We have recovered more than 2,400 post-consumer packaging tons, and we digitize more than 400 base recyclers. In less than 3 years, we managed the post-consumer packaging in more than 20 cities, and we increased our revenue by 27 times with a growth rate nearly 400%. Now we are raising 1 million to onboard the next 400 cooperatives and associations in our B2B marketplace. And our goal with this round is achieving revenue nearly $1 million by 2025, $6 million, sorry, managing more than 28,000 tons of post-consumer packaging. We have the opportunity to accelerate the circular economy in LATAM. It's very important to decrease the global warming. So here we are, and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Martin. Great. Now from our investors, who would like to present their first question?
Here we are. Go ahead if you want.
It seems we don't have a thesis here.
We don't have the thesis here, yes.
So either everything was understood or nothing was understood. Now we have a couple of questions. One is from Arturo Quiroga from Ignea. Please go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, in your business model, who are you going to be targeting as a customer? The big companies, which would then advertise and get the final consumer to recycle, or how are you planning to scale on this?
In the customer, we have the first model when we have a recycling station. It's a facility where the customer comes with their with the waste, and they can scan a QR code. And after that, with the EI in real time, our ecostation track what the user deposit inside it. We know this is a global limiter, so we have a partnership with the CPGs like Coca-Cola, Bimbo, Quilmes, CCO, and others. And they give us, they pay for the program of the pilot to recover the packaging, and also they give us CapEx for invest in these eco stations. So we load the global limiter in that model because we don't have a investment in the CapEx. We only have investment in the deploy and the kickoff of that. And also we have a marketing strategy. Thank you, Martin. This is an example of eco station in Chango Mas. Here in Argentina, it's Walmart, for example. Our marketing expansion, it's very easy because the user now wants some place to bring their packaging. And right now, in most Latin America sites, the facilities are working bad if there is not people inside. So you have a OpEx problem. And with our eco stations, we don't have OpEx because this is automatic. So right now we are working in 42 cities, here in Argentina and the leading market in Mexico and Chile. So we are working really good in the expansion plan also.
Thank you, Max. Great. So next up,
Thank you. Thank you, Martin and Maximiliano. Next up, we have Javiera Mosurrutia on the seed stage, Más Móvil.
Excellent. Thanks, team. See you later.
Hello, hello everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
let's start with the 4 minutes. Hi, I'm Javier Mosurrutia, founder of Más Móvil, the vehicle as a service solution that we are an asset-free solution. While we were working on leasing companies, we identified how companies were losing millions of dollars by not having the vehicle they need to fulfill their objectives. Maybe it's in the garage, have an accident, was stolen, or they don't have enough money to buy one. And it was really impact for them because some of our customers pay more than $100,000 a year just for substitute cars, 3 days in loss in process, 11 hours lost by employee of distribution when they don't have the vehicle, and they can spend more than 8 months waiting for a new vehicle. But in the other hand, we don't need more vehicles because there's a lot of traffic. We identified that there's thousands of used vehicles ready to be used. So we create our solution as a marketplace. All in one, you can find all kinds of vehicles through our app, through a subscription or on demand, motorcycles, cars, light trucks, and a vehicle ready in less than 45 minutes. Our business model is a win-win. We are doing share economics. So the vehicles are from third parties, especially for dealers. Now we just closed a deal with a company, so we have presence in airports too. So in share economics, we don't own the vehicles. The dealers are the ones that are putting the assets, and they are receiving an income for the vehicles that are not being used. And we are receiving 10 to 20% of each trip, and now developing the white label for some of our customers. Behind of this, we are a team of founders with experience on leasing, mobility, and technology. Stephanie, as the co-founder at GM, has experience on legal and marketing and leasing. Ivan, he has a lot of experience developing solutions. I myself with experience on marketing, innovation, and mobility. The market we are talking about all around the world is more than $180 billion. Just in Mexico, we want to reach $120 million, but we have plans to grow in the next years. We are a pandemic startup. We started in 2020. We start growing, and 2022 was our really operation year, and 2023 has been a great year for us. We are growing 20% each month, and we just launched the initiative to create e-mobility hubs that are going to be stations where you're going to be able to rent any kind of electric vehicles or charge your vehicles with solar panels, chargers, batteries. And we are not alone. Why are we not alone? Because the competition it's a lot, but around us are companies as Photon, Bosch, Smartlease, Exipower, Cinch with motorcycles.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, and we are measuring the CO2 of each trip, and all the vehicles are being insured by Sura, that they create a pay per kilometer or day insurance for us. The competition, as we say, there's like companies as Hertz, Avis, or subscription models, or these car sharing solutions. But what makes us different, it's the price transparency, low cost of operations, the user experience, and that we can deliver all kinds of vehicles through our platform. At this moment, we have an open round of $300,000, and we want to continue developing, obviously, the payroll and expansion. This is the great opportunity to start growing with us because mobility is growing. So I give you my information. You can contact me and be part of the future of sustainable mobility.
Thank you, Javier. Great. So questions from the investors.
I have a question.
Sure.
In your business model, obviously you have to create network effects. How do you plan on creating that user engagement and to create the number of users so it could be valuable to the marketplace?
Great. Since there are no more questions, Javier, please go ahead.
Okay, Arturo, what we are doing is we are at this moment B2B. So we are really focused on corporate companies. Our main users at this moment are the pharma companies. We have a leasing company as our customer. So they are promoting us as their substitute vehicle solution. So every time they need a vehicle, instead of going to a daily rental, they open the app and they reserve. And the idea with electric mobility hubs is start growing with these hubs, continue with B2B, but after we have a really good number of these hubs, then we're going to start opening to the public. But at the end, we're going to have, at that moment, we're going to be more recognized because they can see the product.
Thank you, Javier. Any more questions? Right. Next, I would like to introduce Francisco Macedo from Colonus. Francisco, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can see your screen and hear you clearly.
We are ready. Well, thank you very much. We are Colonus. We are a super app for PropTech, but we are taking steps to be a fintech app. So why we create Colonus? Just in Mexico exist in 2020, 20 million of families or people living in a community that they try to collaborate each other. Why? They try to collect payments, they try to communicate with the neighbors, they try to have the access control, they try to making reservations efficiently, do the trackings, incidents, compliance, maintenance, the meetings that everybody is boring. Why? Because sometimes you don't taking care about the issues that the whole community already have. And the property manager is the only people that they have a web pages to manage that, but they are forgetting the whole community, the residents. So the residents has the big problem because they losing time, they losing financial, and they are losing the most important thing in your life, the peace of mind and the security for your family. So it's why we create Colonus. In Colonus, we simplify the residential lives for neighbors, for visitors, and also for property managers. Why? Because we integrate in the whole in one place the self-service, the time savings, security information, the transparency of the finance in the residential, and moreover, the security of your life. So we are in a business model for B2B. So the property manager pay for the whole community. Then we do the cross-selling, selling another add-ons, but we did realize that the problem, it was not only the property management, it was the financial. So we create another models to be a B2C. Let me tell you some of our numbers. In the past 5 years, we have a retention rate for 98% of our retention. We are in break even since December 21, and we have a GMV for $62 million just this year. And let me tell you why. Right now, we have an organic traction for active users for around 200,000 active users. We just raised $300K US dollar, and we are doing $1 million this year. And we are looking for another revenue model that is Colonus Pay. We just launched Colonus Pay, that is our own gateway payment. So for every transaction that we can get into this model, we can charge a fee for every transaction that occurs in the residential area. We will create a roadmap for another services, a hub services for housing, painting, and we already have a $1.1 million in this
You
year
have
in
1
revenue.
minute.
But in 2 years more, we are raising we are achieving $4 million in revenue for Colonus Pay, our SaaS, and our hub services. We are not alone, but we are very focused in the residents, the guards, and the visitors. And other solutions are just looking for the administration. The market size for the whole Latin America is the $67 billion every year. We are the founders. We have experience in another companies, a big, largest company before we start this. We have a board members, the huge brains that they back us. And also we are in the REACH program, the growth program in the Tecnológico Monterrey. We are looking for $1 million to grow, to expansion. And as I told you, we are in break even, so we are not burning money. So we need to expand. Thank you.
Thank you, Tocayo. Great. So now over to the investors who would like to ask the first question.
Okay, all clear.
All clear. Okay. Paulina, go ahead.
Hi, Francisco. I would like to know how has the process been with the residents adapting to the app, considering that sometimes some residents are elderly people.
Yeah. Yes, we already launched our Academy Colonus that we provide on a YouTube program, and also we provide for every single building or community that we already have, and then I forgot the word, but the process to get into the program is guide for one of our vendors people. So every time that we sell one resident, we assign one people to assure that everybody in the community has the rights to use Colonus, but also we think that, as you mentioned, there are a lot of people that they don't like the technology. So we improve this area to handle with the property managers or the leader of the community to make some activities instead or on behalf of these people. The onboarding was the word that I forgot, sorry.
Thank you.
No, thanks for you.
Thank you, Francisco. Up next is Oscar with Move It.
We can see your screen, Oscar.
Now, not anymore.
I'm the one with problems here. I'm sorry. Just a second.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Try it again since we could see it the first time you tried.
Yeah. All right.
Great. We can see
All
it
right.
full screen now.
I think that's it, right?
Yep.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Oscar Rangel. I'm co-founder and CEO at MoveIt. And we're working to become the logistics that move cargo to the next level. Transportation as we know it is highly fragmented. Picture a puzzle with numerous pieces scattered, each vying for its place in a broader picture. In Mexico, micro and small transport companies constitute a staggering 97% of the total business in the industry. They represent not just numbers, but individuals and families striving to make a living while contributing to our economy tapestry. While companies that need services struggle to manage a large number of carriers and man truck in order to meet their shipment programs. We identified this problem and decide to develop a marketplace for customers with high demand where they can satisfy their needs, exceed their requirements, and deliver key indicators for their logistic team. To ensure an ideal service level, we had to develop a platform that facilitates operational control for carriers and truck drivers. In the face of a new waybill regulation in the industry challenges, we offered this software as a service to promote the digitalization of the transportation industry. Through our marketplace, we offered last mile, local, and national freight services with an average margin of 15% of its value. The software as a service, it's in beta stage with monthly prices starting at $17 per user. There are companies and startups in a similar path. However, we are the only ones in Mexico integrating a marketplace for services with a transport management system. The market is vast. If we consider the three main Mexican cities, according to INEGI in 2022, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey, they contribute with $19.7 billion to the GDP. We believe that by helping the industry, we earn their trust in order to have a significant base to meet the demand of many clients. Our goal is to capture 1.5% of the market by 2028. In 2019, I joined Move in Mexico project, reshaping the focus from B2C to B2B. In 2020, we began the transition with our last mile service, closing HEB as a customer, which we still maintain their trust. At the end of 2022, we start our national freight service, which opened doors with clients like Grupo Herdes, Peñafiel, Nestlé, among others.
You have 1 minute.
This year, we expect 100% growth despite having limited working capital. We are a team of 13, and what can I say? I'm surrounded by experts. As CTO, Daniel Contreras brings a solid experience in customer software development for various industries. As co-founders, angel investors, and board members, we have Gibran Calderon, VP of Construrama Blanquita, and Abraham Ibarra, Director of Digital Transformation at Icon. We are raising $4 million to expand operation with our enterprise customers. Therefore, 70% will go directly to prompt payment for our carriers, 20% to strengthen our team and attract talent, and the remaining 10% for brand positioning. With this investment, we project reaching the break-even point within the next 9 months. Let's move this industry to the next level. Contact me to move it easy. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Now questions from investors.
There's no question?
No questions.
All right. I was
have a
clear, I
question,
guess.
just struggling
All
to raise my hand. In the near future, how do you plan the expansion? Do you plan to be like a local player? Do you plan to expand nationally in the next couple of years or going internationally, especially in this logistics segment?
Yeah, of course. It's the only question? Can I answer it or
yeah, please go ahead, Oscar.
All right. Well, since we really need to focus on Mexican market at the moment, but we have the intention to go also to the United States and Canada, so we can take a big part of the nearshoring effect that it's going to happen here in Mexico. And since it's so fragmented, so we believe that we have to help the small carriers in order to fulfill all the necessities that we're going to have as a country. So the first step is here in Mexico, and probably by the end of next year, starting to doing some export and imports to the United States mainly. And at the moment, the money it's right to, well, it's to enhance our operations with the customers that we have that are quite big, and also to push our TMS to all carriers here.
Thank you, Oscar.
Thank
Any
you.
more questions from the panelists? Great. So
I really appreciate the time. Thank you, guys.
thank you. And I would like to thank Oscar and the rest of the seed round participants, Guillermo, Carlos, Martin, Javier, and Francisco, for their participation today. So we heard some amazing pitches, some great businesses with huge innovations that are making an impact out there. And we are very thankful for the investors who joined us today to present some of the interesting challenges and questions to these founders. We would like to invite you to learn more about our programs. We're launching an 8-week sprint program starting in January, and we would be very happy to hear about you and your businesses to continue growing and accelerating them. For now, I would like to just close with one picture. If you guys could turn on your cameras, we would be so happy to have everyone on the call show their faces and take a snapshot. And so thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. And now everyone raise their hands. There's, a bunch of questions now. And see you next time. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.